Let's dive into one of the biggest and most talked about topics in US politics for 2025, immigration reform. This issue has been in the spotlight for years, but right now, things are moving in a new direction, and it's something that affects not just immigrants but everyone in the country. So, what's the deal? Well, the US immigration system is complicated, outdated, and overloaded. For years, there's been a growing backlog of people waiting for visas, asylum hearings, and citizenship processes. At the same time, there's been a debate about how to handle the millions of people already living in the country without proper documentation. Right now, the Biden administration and Congress are working on some big changes to the immigration laws that could impact everything from border security to how people apply for citizenship. The goal? To create a more efficient, fair, and humane immigration system. Here's what's currently at the forefront of the discussion for 2025. 1. Pathway to citizenship. A major part of the conversation is about what to do with the undocumented immigrants who are already here. Estimates suggest there are around 11 million people living in the US without legal status. Some of them have been living and working in the country for years, and many of them have families who are US citizens or legal residents. The big proposal on the table is to create a pathway to citizenship for these people. This means that individuals who meet certain requirements, like paying taxes, staying out of trouble, learning English, could eventually apply for legal status and become citizens. But this is a hot topic because it raises questions about fairness and security. Some people believe this could be rewarding people who broke the law by entering illegally, while others argue that it's the right thing to do for those who contributed to the country. 2. Border security and enforcement. Another part of the reform debate is how to secure the border while still being compassionate toward migrants. The US-Mexico border has been a point of major contention. On one hand, there are concerns about illegal crossings, especially with the number of migrants seeking asylum. On the other hand, there's a need to address how migrants are treated when they arrive, especially minors and families fleeing violence or poverty. The Biden administration is pushing for a more humane approach to immigration enforcement. This includes making sure that people who are seeking asylum can get their day in court rather than being detained or deported quickly. At the same time, some lawmakers are calling for stronger measures to prevent people from crossing illegally, like expanding the use of technology to monitor the border. 3. Work visas and employment. Another key focus is reforming the work visa system. Right now, many industries, like agriculture, construction, and tech, rely on immigrant labor. But the current visa process can be slow and frustrating. The plan for 2025 includes creating a more streamlined process for workers to come to the US legally, allowing them to fill job shortages without waiting years for approval. There's also talk about expanding opportunities for temporary workers and those with specialized skills, particularly in high-demand fields like technology and healthcare. 4. Asylum seekers and refugees. The treatment of asylum seekers is a hot topic as well. The US has long been a safe haven for people fleeing persecution, but the process has become slow and overwhelmed. In 2025, reformers are pushing for faster asylum hearings and better resources for people seeking refuge in the US. This would help reduce the backlog of cases and give asylum seekers a fair chance to prove their case. But the tricky part is balancing that with the concerns about national security and ensuring that people who enter the country legally are not a threat. 5. Public opinion and political divide. What makes this issue so tricky is the political divide. Republicans and Democrats don't see eye to eye on immigration reform. While Democrats generally support a more inclusive system with a path to citizenship, Republicans are focused on border security and enforcing laws before considering any path to legalization for undocumented immigrants. This difference of opinion makes it hard to pass major reforms, but both sides agree that something needs to change. Public opinion is also divided, with some Americans feeling that immigration should be more controlled, while others believe that immigration is part of what makes the US strong and diverse. 6. The future of immigration reform. Looking ahead to 2025, there's still a lot of work to be done to find common ground. If major reforms pass, they could significantly change how the US handles immigration, border security, and citizenship in the coming years. This will affect millions of families, businesses, and communities, as well as how the U.S. positions itself as a nation of immigrants. In short, immigration reform in 2025 is all about finding solutions that address border security, protect workers, ensure fair treatment for asylum seekers, and provide a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have been contributing to society for years. It's a huge challenge, but the conversation is moving forward, and we're likely to see some important decisions made in the coming years.